I, 42-year-old, live with my husband, 45-year-old, and our daughters, 18-year-old and 16-year-old. We live in a different city from our families due to work. A few months ago, my sister asked me if her daughter Kate, 19-year-old, can stay with us since she was starting college in our city. She was scared of her daughter moving away for the first time, especially to a big city like ours. I knew Kate from before the COVID time and remembered her to be a smart, sweet kid. I discussed with my husband, and we agreed she can stay with us. Kate moved in around 2 months back. She was fine, came home on time, let us know her whereabouts, no partying. The issue was with food. She had turned vegan. Normally, I cook for my family. I cook just one meal for all. And we are all dairy-obsessed people. Milk for cereal, butter and pancakes, cheese and everything. Eggs were our staple. Kate needed separate dishes altogether, and we needed vegan substitutes for her. Since those are way more expensive, I told my sister she should give money to Kate so she can buy it. She started telling me how family doesn't take money from family to feed kids. I told her I would feed Kate same as I feed other kids, but I won't spend excess money on her. She said that's fine. Since her mom won't buy it, Kate started buying plant-based substitutes with her pocket money. For dishes like pancakes, I made food for her using her ingredients. But every time I made a huge non-vegan meal, she expected me to provide equivalent vegan meals. I drew the line at that. I can't spend so much time cooking another meal. She said everyone else got to eat it while she was left with few things to eat. I told her she is free to cook for herself, and she hated that idea. It came to a boiling point last weekend when we had a barbecue dinner with friends. She got upset that her salad was very basic. It was good only with chicken added and had nothing else to eat. She complained, and I told her she can cook for herself. She got even more upset at that and called her mom crying about how I didn't make any good meals for her and expected her to fend for herself. My sister called me yelling at me how I didn't love her daughter and was intentionally excluding her. My parents are also taking their side. Am I the idiot? Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. NTA, what would she have done if she was living in the dorms or off campus? Your sister should have told you up front that her daughter is a vegan so that you could have made an informed decision. Your niece is 19 and should be able to make meals for herself. Your sister needs to stop expecting you to cater to her child. If her daughter was staying in a dorm, they'd have to pay for meals. So not sure why, she'd say that family doesn't take money from family to feed kids. This is a situation where your niece chose to be vegan, and vegan options can get pricey. Your sister and her daughter both seem quite entitled. Tell your sister that you will house her daughter until the end of this semester, but for the second semester in spring, she has to find other accommodations. Comment 2. Not the idiot. If they could send her to a dorm, they would have to pay for her food as well. It was not good enough that you opened your home to her, but you had to cater also. Not sure which aspect of your family is more entitled, your niece, your sister, or your parents. None of them want to spend a dime, but expect you to be the maitre d' at an all-inclusive resort that you don't get paid or tipped. Maybe the best approach is telling them the housing situation isn't working out. There will be more howling until they realize there is no alternative that will cost them less. For some, everything is never enough. Comment 3. Not the idiot. I can see why her mom didn't think she was ready to live on her own and needs protection. She's a damn child, coddled by a silly parent. The nerve to ask to live with a family member, assuming for free because of the money comment, then complaining that the free food wasn't good enough. This group makes me so happy I'm from a very small family. Now, for the next story. My 10-year-old Alden is a pretty good kid. I know he's starting puberty and he's had emotional moments. Sometimes he'll have a bath over a shower and then ask me to stay with him so we can chit-chat. Last night, Alden was calling me from the bathroom, but I was outside cleaning out my car. My wife asked Alden what he wanted. He said he wanted to play hangman with bathtub markers. My wife misunderstood that he wanted to play hangman when he wanted to play hangman with me, not anyone else. She went upstairs, and the minute Alden saw her coming to the bathroom, he quickly slammed the door because he didn't want her to see him in all his glory. My wife was angry and she took away all of his electronics for a week. When I came inside and my wife related this to me, I told her she was wrong. She should have announced that she was going to the bathroom and asked if it was okay to come in. Yes, slamming the door was wrong too, but she could have used common sense to avoid it. At first she refused until I asked her what if this had happened to us and it was our daughter, if we had one. She apologized to Alden, and a few hours later she told me she didn't mean the apology and it was not a hill worth dying on. Now, for the next story. I, 20-year-old female, am the maid of honor in my sister's 32-year-old female wedding in a few months. My reputation is known as being fun and upbeat and a little wild, and upholding that reputation landed me a minor in possession, MIP, minor in consumption, MIC, earlier this year, and since it was my first run-in with the law, it scared the poop out of me. I turned my life around in a matter of a week or two, got a good job for a college student, picked up on my studies, prioritized myself, quit going out, and ditched all the people who only hung around me because of my connections and popularity at bars parties. Doing this has helped a lot with my depression. Immensely. Because I know the people I hold close care about me for me, not for any other benefits. My sister's already a little mad at me, because I got my MIP right before her bachelorette party, and I refused to use a fake ID to get into the 21-plus events she had planned. She told me, well, we'll make an exception for the wedding. My best dance partner can't be sober. I recently got the terms of my probation diversion, of which I sign tomorrow, and I will be subject to provide a urine/blood/breath sample at any point during my probationary period. It's 6 months of behaving, and then it's off my record permanently, so I don't want to risk anything that could land me in more trouble. Even if it's random twice a month, I could still test positive if I were to be tested the week after her wedding. I broke this news to her and explained that I wouldn't be able to drink, and she was visibly hurt. I don't know why drinking is such a huge deal. She said that it's just one night, and I can tell my future probation officer that I'll be out of town and cannot be tested. I told her I don't think it works that way. The other bridesmaids have told me I hurt her feelings and are saying I can sacrifice one night since it'll be my sister's only, hopefully, wedding. My dad is on my side, my mom is on the bridesmaids. I just would like to put in my 6 months of good behavior and have this whole situation be over with. But I don't want to be a damper at my sister's wedding, so am I the idiot? Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot, not the a-hole. I will say, they can't test you for alcohol after it's out of your system. In fact, weed is like one of the only things they can. That being said, staying sober has been a good thing for you, so I would keep it up. I don't know why your sister is being such a pill about it. All I can think is that she's embarrassed by her own substance abuse, and you being sober just highlights her own behaviors. And it feels really gross to me that someone 12 years older than you is pressuring you like that. But you're definitely not the a-hole here. Comment 2. Not the idiot, not the a-hole. It is more important that you maintain your sobriety than that you drink at your sister's wedding. What kind of person is she that her wedding will be ruined if you don't drink or get drunk? Doesn't reflect well on the bride. A word of warning. Be very careful at wedding events. I would guess your sister and her bridesmaids might try to slip something into your drink. Maybe it's best to bring your own bottles of water that you open, and maybe have someone to watch them when you can't. Comment 3. WTF is wrong with your mother and sister? Do you live with a family of alcoholics? Is your sister so insecure and needy that she can't enjoy her own wedding unless her underage sister is drunk with her? I think the drinking age of 21 in the U.S. is stupid, but that doesn't change the law or the consequences of your situation. Why is your family willing to risk your entire future for one night? Not the idiot. Now, for the next story. One of my roommates in college is vegan. We usually get along pretty well for the past month, and no fights or anything, but recently, that's gone to poop. Note, we have another roommate as well who isn't vegan. He asked me about a week ago if I need anything from a grocery store he was at. I just asked him to buy some eggs, and I'll send him the money for it. Keep in mind, he made no strings attached in the original statement, but he responded that he wasn't going to buy anything that involved animals being hurt. So this week he asked me to buy some Beyond Meat patties, and I refused. I'm not going to buy him poop that he'll only eat if he doesn't do the same for me. That's not how I roll. Turns out he got super pissed at me for that, and called me a huge ass for making a situation out of nothing. Am I the idiot? Now, here are the comments. Comment 1, not the idiot. If he's not willing to do something for you, why should you do that something for him when he asks? You asked him to get you something he refused because of his beliefs. He asked you to get him something and has a fit because you decline, though? Maybe you should tell him that you don't believe in doing favors for people that don't do them for you as well. Just because he chooses to believe something doesn't mean he's entitled to special treatment and special exceptions. His beliefs are not your obligation to conform to or make exemptions for. He clearly expects special considerations and exceptions be made for him because he's chosen to believe a certain way, and that is pure idiot attitude. He is the one making the issue, and his trying to gaslight that onto you suggests that he's also overly entitled. Comment 2. Not the idiot, you didn't ask him to buy eggs for himself. He asked you if you needed anything and then refused to get it. So it's within your every right to refuse getting something for him. I'd probably react the same way. Comment 3. Not the idiot. He should have known full well, with you not being vegan, there would be a chance you would ask for something that isn't vegan. They should have very plainly called this out when reaching out to you. Now, for the next story. Am I the idiot for telling my sister that she should start doing something with her life, and for refusing to take care of my nephew? I am 16 years old and I have an older sister named Diana, who is 24 years old. We live with our mom, who is 46 years old, and our dad isn't really present in our lives. My sister dropped out of university after giving birth to a 4-year-old baby when she was 20, and since then, she hasn't even looked for a job. For more context, my mom is the one who spends most of the time taking care of my nephew, since Diana is always feeling tired and depressed. I also take care of him when I can. However, Diana is not really tired, and she's just irresponsible. For example, she likes partying, going out with her friends and boyfriend, who is also the baby's father and does not take responsibility for him, or just staying in her room all day doing nothing except eating or watching her phone. These days, we have been in a very bad financial situation, and that made me look for a part-time job to help my mom with the bills. I also study, so I only work in the afternoon until around 7 p.m. It's still tiring since I have to do homework at night, meaning that I go to sleep around 12 p.m. Diana, on the other hand, despite knowing our situation, didn't even look for a part-time job. I have to say that Diana uses an excessive amount of water, light, and Wi-Fi. Even if I have told her to turn off the lights she isn't using, she also uses a lot of Wi-Fi. This has been bothering me a lot, and I've been getting super annoyed. Yesterday, I was doing my homework at around 9 p.m. when Diana came and told me that she'll go out and that she will leave my nephew in my care. No, she didn't ask me first, she just told me that I will take care of him. I refused and told her no, that I was busy and cannot take care of him. Even with my refusal, Diana ignored me, and the last thing I heard from her was when she slammed the door and went outside. Fine. I took care of my nephew because I was not going to leave a 4-year-old toddler without supervision. My mom is doing night shifts, so I was the only one who could take care of him. And it was Saturday, so I had the whole Sunday to finish my homework. But today, I was already pissed off, and I've had enough of her bullshit. I approached Diana and told her to put her poop together, and that I am not going to keep taking care of her son. I yelled at her that she should start doing something with her life, instead of just fooling around and being completely useless. I didn't wait for her response and just went to lock myself in my room. We haven't spoken since, and she is giving me the silent treatment. I couldn't care less, to be honest, but I think that maybe I was too harsh. I know yelling wasn't a good option, but sincerely, I want her to act like the freaking adult she is already. Am I the idiot? If you liked this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.